watching Investors Guide on ET Now. Thanks for staying with us. Dhirendra Kumar is still with us. We're reviewing the Birla Sun Life Midcap Fund. And like always, Avan is here to give us a quick introduction into the fund. Avan.
A fund that promises to deliver good returns in the long run if you have the time and money is Birla Sun Life Midcap Fund, the fund in focus today. Launched in October 2002, the fund has given its investors an annualized return of 31% since its launch. Savvy selector selection is probably the reason for its above-average returns. Betting heavily on engineering and services proved fruitful in 2006. In the downturn of 2008, the fund manager fled to FMCG and healthcare and took refuge in debt and cash. In 2009, the fund delivered admirably with a return of 120%. Though the portfolio is churned fairly frequently, this fund isn't aggressive. In fact, it avoids concentrated bets. Since 2005, no sector has breached the 20% mark and no single stock has crossed 7%. During market rallies, this fund makes its mark. Yet, in downturns, it will not dramatically stray from the category average. Its appeal lies in the fact that over the long run, it rewards its investors. Let's bring up some numbers for you. If you invested 1,000 rupees in this fund when it launched, you would have 10,340 rupees today. But is this the fund that you need to add to your portfolio? We've done a bit of digging and have the answer.
Thanks, Avan. Well, in the Birla Sun Life Midcap Fund, we know that it has given handsome returns of about 30% since launch, but it hasn't had a very good run in the new year. It's falling far more than the category average. So, what would you suggest with this fund? Going by the long-term performance or going by the recent performance since the market started to show some volatility?
No, I would like to, discount the long-term performance because, most mid-caps do well in a roaring market, and this fund did as well in 2009. But 2010 was a very disappointing year, and year so far in 2011 is just as disappointing. So I would say that, consistency is just not visible in this mid-cap fund. There are other mid-cap funds which are relatively superior for their performance persistence. This fund is erratic. It does very well on occasion, and most mid-caps behave this way. But there are exceptional mid-cap fund does little better consistently, and this is not the one. As of now, it looks like an average, a fund which is proving to be an average. It is not a very extremely disappointing fund. It is not a great fund either.
So this is a fund that has 2,000 crore rupees assets under management, which means that it's in the public eye as one of the largest funds. So for someone who is looking to invest in a mid-cap fund, which ones would you suggest as alternatives to this one?
You have quite a few. And also I would say that, we keep telling about choose a fund, invest regularly, and don't look at it very often, review your portfolio every year. I think some of these funds, when you can't resist your temptation to get into a fund which is looking very solid in its recent performance, investors can't overcome that temptation often. Then I think, it is important to look at some of these funds with the way you look at stock, work on some kind of stop loss in your mind, follow it rigorously, watch it little more keenly. This is not a kind of category where you invest. It can well be to, if you are looking at it holistically as part of your portfolio, still it requires a review more often. There are quite a few funds, and they are not mid-cap fund by design. For example, the IDFC Premier Equity. It remains a mid-cap, mid and small-cap fund. Likewise, the Sundaram Smile is another impressive fund. If you want to go, further down, DST BlackRock Microcap is another choice worth exploring. But these are not the funds where you invest and sleep.
All right, Dhirendra. Finally, your rating of the Birla Sun Life Midcap Fund. Should we be investigated?
No, and I would say it's an average fund. I would go to 3-star.
All right, 3 stars there for the Birla Sun Life Midcap Fund on Investors Guide. Dhirendra Kumar, thank you so much for joining us on the show and answering all of our questions. We're going to slip into a quick break. On the other side, we're doing a special segment where we're going to answer your questions on insurance. If you don't want to miss that, don't go anywhere.